All right, now that we've completed our data table, it's time to build our graph. This is where you're really going to need to have that desktop version of Excel. What you're going to do is you're going to select your 5 or 4, if you're a temperature group, different variations of your independent variable. And then you're also going to want to just select your 5 means. Now, in order to be able to double select, you're going to hold down, if you're on a Dell computer at school, the control key. If you're on a Mac like I am, you're going to hold down the command key. And then that's going to allow you to select that second set of data as well. So now I have selected 2 sets of data. You don't want to select the column headings, just select the data. And then you're going to go to Insert. You're going to go over here to Recommended Charts, and you're going to choose the one that looks like just a scatter of points. And then you're going to choose this very first scatter plot here. So as you can see, you've got your enzyme concentrations or whatever it is that you studied, and then your rate of reaction along the left side. Okay, here's the points. This graph looks great. This is exactly what I would have predicted, but I need to add some pieces to it. I need to add my standard deviation, my error bars. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to go up here to Add Chart Element. I'm going to go to error bars, and if I just choose like standard error, standard deviation, it's not going to work. It's going to give me all the same values. So I need to go to more error bar options. Then I'm going to scroll down here to custom, because as you can see here, they're all the same height. That's no good because you can see there's different standard deviations for each of the enzyme concentrations used. So when I choose custom and then specify value, this little box is going to pop up, and I might need to move it so that I can see my standard deviation. Now, on my computer, I just click and then I select my 5 standard deviation points. If you're on a Dell, you actually need to just delete what's in there, and then you're just going to highlight these 5 standard deviations. This is going to give a positive error value. That means that your error bar is going to go up 1 standard deviation, but we also want it to go down 1 standard deviation, so we need to select those same 5 points in our negative error values. And then when I click OK, you're going to see now that my error bars have changed size to indicate along with the standard deviation. Note also that it's what I predicted, that the standard deviation was going to be really small at 20 and pretty darn big at 80. All right, so now we've got error bars, but notice I've also got these horizontal error bars. Now, they might be really big depending on which independent variable you used, and you need to figure out how to get rid of them. And the easiest way to do that, on mine, I'm going to have to zoom in a lot because they're really small, is click on those error bars and then just hit delete. Now, if you accidentally delete the point, you can always Control Z to undo, and then make sure you're clicking on the horizontal error bars. And now you just have vertical. Okay, I'm going to make my chart a little smaller again. Okay, the next piece is I'm going to need a line of best fit. So I'm going to go to trend line. I'm going to choose more options, and then I'm going to choose a polynomial trend line. Notice that the trend line goes into the negative here at 0, and we know that with 0 enzyme concentration, we're going to have 0 rate of reaction. So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to choose to set my intercept at 0. So I'm going to click that box there. Okay, that will not be applicable to our pH group when you're setting up yours. So now I have a pretty good graph. I need to add in some axis labels. I need to add in a chart title. So to do those things, you're just going to get add chart element. You can choose your horizontal and vertical titles, your actual chart title. You can just click on it to edit, and you guys can do all of that on your own. Once you have a completed graph that has all of your axes labels with units, as well as a chart title that is descriptive, you're going to just simply copy and paste this into your lab report. So you're going to pull up your Google Doc, that's your lab report. You're going to select this chart, and you're just going to hit Control C, go into the Google Doc under results, and then click where you want it, and then hit Control V to paste it in. Now, your one note I wanted to make is with our substrate concentration groups. Here's one for substrate concentration. Along your x-axis, you're going to notice that the percent are whole numbers, which really does not help us because we need to see much more defined values here rather than 1, 1, 2, 2. So to fix that, you're just going to click on them, double click on one of those numbers. And then if you scroll down on this format axis, you're going to get to number. If you open up number and keep scrolling down, it's going to ask you how many decimal places you want. So you're going to change that from 0 to 1. And then when you close it, you're going to see that now you've got a actual climbing x-axis by 0.5% instead of having those weird double whole numbers. So last up, to copy and paste this data table and maintain our formatting, you're going to want to probably take a screenshot of it. So to take a screenshot on the Dell, you're going to hold down Control Windows S. Now it looks like it's different on mine. Yours should turn a gray color. So it's Control and then that little window key. It's like a picture of a window and then S, and your screen will kind of turn a gray color. And it'll allow you to select an area that you'd like to screenshot. So I'm going to select my data table. When I release, it takes a picture of it, and I can now then paste this in. If you're on the Dells at school, it automatically copies when you do that. And so you can just open up your Google Doc and hit Control V and paste it right in. Now, every table and every graph or figure are going to need to be labeled with table number and a descriptive title, figure number and a descriptive title. They need to be numbered numerically in ascending order. Tables are numbered on a separate system than figures, and they should always be referred to in the text. Let me think. I think that's all. I'm sure there's more that I need to mention, but that's all I can think of for now. So that should hopefully get you started, and then feel free to check in with me in class if you guys have additional questions.